Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are checking out some more solo leveling, and I'm so excited for these episodes because we're finally getting into Taesik and the Prisoner's storyline, and I know that this is going to be an intense way that I'm assuming we're going to be ending off this part of the anime that's out so far, but I've been waiting for Taesik the whole time because his character sticks in my brain so much. There's just something about his personality and what he represents in comparison to Jinwoo that I just love. I also love in this that Jinwoo is starting to build a team around him as opposed to being on his own or thinking that he doesn't necessarily need other people around him, or not even really considering them outside of his mom and his sister. He has that core unit that is always at the heart of why he's doing what he's doing, and I feel like the anime does a little bit of a better job of keeping that thread really upfront for the audience, how important Jinwoo's mom is to who he is as a character and why he's making the decisions that he's making, but also knowing now that he does have other people who care about him and that he can rely on, and that he doesn't have to just focus in on the betrayal, even though we're going to get into a little bit of that because we have some characters coming back who ran off when things got tough. I can understand, but at the same time, kind of a jerk move to make. I'm excited for these next few episodes. They've been what I've been waiting for this whole time. Let's get into the episode. In 3, 2, 1, go. I mean, they are goblins. They're basically dragon fodder. Some smooth animation so far. Nope. He's pretty good at taking care of himself now. Yeah. Should be a little bit wary of him though. Just saying. Like, look, do I have a soft spot for Wanu? For Jinwoo? Yes. But he also scares me, right? Like, he does that thing where he goes demon mode and he just like disconnects from everything that's going on, and it freaks me out. So I'm like, maybe we don't disconnect from our feelings at moments when it could be like life or death situations, and not necessarily his life or death. You know, like maybe we care about the carnage that we enact on the world. I'm also like, I feel like I should at least like enjoy this though. Like, I feel like I'm still in the be sus of everything kind of mindset because I do know what is going to happen, but I definitely should just enjoy kind of the quiet, more joyful moments. I mean, it's nice to see Jinwoo just like smiling and seeming more relaxed than he has in a while. Like, he has like an intensity most of the time, but then there's something about being around people who knew him back when he was the weakest hunter that brings out a more relaxed air to him. Don't split up. Rule number one of like every horror film ever: don't split up. Oh boy. Don't split up. Oof. That shift in his eyes. That was good. That was subtle. Oh, you just ruined it. You said it out loud. Yeah, you already were like, yeah, it'll be safe if he's with us. Look how that turned out last time. It's true. What who also has family? Oh, jeez. I think that says a lot that they're like goblin, human, same thing. I love that lighting change. Like lining up the shots and then just like the lighting. So good. I mean, no one said the world was fair. I get it though. I understand why he's angry. Good Dutch angle use. Showing that like our expectations have been shifted. Oh, lining up the shot again. That was so good. And we get to see the eyes again. Everything is starting to shift. Yeah. Uh-oh, you've seen things that you shouldn't have seen. Oof, jeez. Intense music happening. Oh, he does. In fact, I think there's a reason he's been sent here. Given that your name keeps coming up on dungeons where everybody dies except you. Oh, they both have so much trauma though. Like I can understand freezing up. This is a little too familiar to their last experience being in a dungeon together. Yep. That's why you survived last time. I think the interactions is so much, but to know though that like he's like, I need to have someone to be mad about, to blame for what happened, like external from myself. Who said they were good guys? Fortunately, it's a pretty good story. Hmm. I mean, she's doing pretty good, honestly. Juhi, given the trauma and everything that's been going on. He went for that shot though, too. Like he went straight for the slice and dice. Oof. Good support. I love the way that his eyes white out there. Oh, poor Juhi. We haven't looked back at Jinwoo in a while. It's just a good way of like adding the suspense. Game over is interesting wording too, given Jinwoo's abilities. Not yet. Our boy coming through. Said that E-reg with conviction. Yeah, he's changed a lot. He's a mystery. He was paid. They saw what they weren't supposed to see. It's true. Quick death to the some of the prisoners, but not with the witnesses. Yeah, that's a scare face. Definitely got the like what greatest hunt? Is that the short story vibes where the guy likes to hunt people? Ugh, I love the number of parallels between the two of them though. Like they have so much in common, which I think should be worrisome. And I think like it's intentional. Like you're supposed to see a bunch of Jinwoo in him in Taesik. Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. That single bead of sweat. See, his eyes are whited out too, just like Taesik's were. Some great fluid shots in the fighting scenes in this episode. Like long shots. No, he's good. I have like no fear, honestly. He doesn't either. He's got this. Yeah. Now he's got a few different types, right? Including a healer. He's showing lots of different ability sets. Oh. Oh yeah. That image of him being so fractured though is such a interesting image too. I mean, saying the strongest is who comes out on top is very in line with what we've heard Juno say as well. Like when he did kill those people in the one dungeon, it was him saying, like, even when I was weak, no one cared about me. Like, being nice isn't going to get you anywhere. Strength will. Yeah, he's scary. Yeah, yeah. The abyss gazes back. Mm-hmm. Yep, fractured. Yep. I think it says a lot that the boss is just like a bit of an afterthought in this dungeon. Like, it's not even the real challenge here. Just keep surviving dungeons where lots of people end up dying. Weird. See, sometimes it's good to have people on your side. Definitely not put to rest yet. I mean, they're surprisingly chill considering they just watched him like total very strong hunter. Ugh. I mean, so much in this episode in this storyline, and I'm kind of sad that it's over so quickly. I honestly thought that we were going to spend some more time with Taesik because I love him so much. He's so unnerving and creepy, but also there's so many intentional parallels between him and Jinwoo that there's so much to unpack with that. And I feel in the manhwa, we spent a lot more time deconstructing why he thinks the way that he does and how he thinks and his philosophy with humans and life and stuff, that I feel like this one kind of went through it a bit rapidly. And I feel like that's probably okay. I feel like Taesik drives forward enough in it, but I also think that it's like super important to why Jinwoo does what he does and why he needs to be like wary of who he's becoming. Like, I feel like we didn't zero in on that as much as the manhwa did, just because of like time constraints, and like it's not super dynamic in the middle of a fight scene to be like, let's talk philosophy and how we view society and how we view our part in that society. And maybe that's just because when I was reading the manhwa, I took a lot of time with these chapters to deconstruct that philosophy because it interested me. But having Jinwoo talking about losing another part of himself and feeling himself being fractured, and I love the image of him, a silhouette with all these different cracks and things in it, him feeling like he's pulling away from, I don't know, who he was, or I think pulling away from his humanity, or needing to turn off parts of himself because he has to be able to do what he has to do. Like when the system tells him, hey, if you don't kill these people, your heart will stop. So again, it becomes that decision of, do you want to survive? And Jinwoo will always choose survival. And because of that, he's going to have to lose parts of himself in order to comply with that. And the line from Taesik of, we've both just become killing machines at this point, very in line with what this feeling of when the system tells him to kill, he does. And that's not because he's made a decision. That's not because he's just coming from a place of self-defense. It's not because he inherently has that bloodlust. It's because he is being told to do that or not survive. And those are his decisions. So he has to just turn off his emotions and his conscience, and he has to just do what needs to be done, do what the system tells him, because otherwise he has to sacrifice his own survival. And in this situation, if he had, then what would have happened to Sung and Juhi, right? Those are people that he wants to look out for. And if he weren't to survive that interaction with Taesik, what would have happened to them? And what would have happened to his sister? And what would have happened to his mom if he wasn't around anymore to help them? It's a really complicated philosophy wrapped up in this episode with the comparisons between him and Taesik. Taesik, who very much sees himself as something separate from humans. And I feel like that wasn't fully explored in the adaptation, but in the manhwa he very much talks in this language where he is separating himself from humanity. He is something else. He is something greater than the humanity around him. And I think that's one of the things that Jinwoo falls into the trap of a lot more, because his life is different from other people. He is separating himself from them in terms of he's different from other hunters. Just with the hunter lifestyle, he's different from the average person. The way that he looks at the world is different because it's through this lens of the system. And even he's talked about, oh, at one point I may become stronger than S rank. He's seeing himself as someone who can transcend even the most powerful hunters out there. That makes him a little bit more disconnected to that humanity. And it's like I was talking before about how he needs that grounding with his sister and his mom in reality, in his life as just a person, because the more that he loses track of that, the more he stops seeing himself as a person and starts to more see himself as stats. And how can he max out those stats? And I think that's all rooted in like the discussion that he has with Taesik and like what Taesik represents, and the way that it shows how like there are so many flaws within the hunter system, not just with the hunters we saw before that were like a strike team that killed off members of their group all the time when they went into dungeons, but also even in the system that is supposed to be protecting people and regulating hunters and ensuring that being a hunter and going into dungeons is the most safe and regulated that it can be. Even those people have their own corruption and their own bloodlust and reason for doing things that are self-serving. There's so much. This is such a good part of the storyline that I'm just sad that we're not going to spend a bunch of time on it, because I personally love it and I think that there's so much to pull out of it that is foreshadowing and important to later stuff. But maybe we'll reference back to it. Maybe we're just, again, I know that stopping to talk philosophy and like morality and stuff isn't the best way to pace a fight scene, so I get it, but I'm still sad that Taesik came and left too quickly, in my opinion. But it does make me wonder about what note are we going to actually end off the season in, because I was thinking we weren't going to get to the Red Knight yet. I thought that would be not something that we could get to quickly enough, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is where we're going to end off this part of the series. But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this place to go see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to miss next time I post a solo leveling reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.